the distribution of the digital land wealth in Bitfari correlates with the distribution of wealth in the planet. The wealthy, the 1%, has a lot, nearly half. In our case, it's much less than that. In our case, the 1% owns roughly 20%. It's between 15 to 20% of the mints. We have a very healthy, wealthy class. We have a healthy middle class, but then we have the poor, and that's a problem. So reverse BTC calculates the Gini coefficient of the network, and then it takes 10% of the fees. It takes the money that was used as fees for the protocol. So it takes this 10%, and then it creates a reverse distribution where it sends money to the poor at an inverse correlation ratio, at an inverse ratio, so that the poor get more money, more fees than the rich, so that the poor can mint more. So the reverse.btc network fixes inequality. Well, it helps fix inequality. You can't really fix it, right? It's a hard problem, but it helps in ameliorating the problems created by inequality, especially as they relate to the network. Okay, so if people know that they are gonna get that they can just wait a month and get fees for minting, then they will mint more than they will have otherwise minted. And this is what you have to take into account. For somebody that has done one mint, let's go down here. For these people that have done only one mint, you give them you give them dust in stacks or faris. You give them 0.01 stacks or whatever. You are giving them money to double, triple, or even quadruple their number of mints. So it really will raise them up. And if you give them, let's say, half a stack, they could even move into the middle class. They could get the money that they need to go into the middle class. That's huge. Okay, that's just massive, and that is something that other blockchains are not doing. So we created a contract, we created a program. This stuff creates a Clarity smart contract on the fly, and then it deploys it, posts on the network, and then we send you stacks. So we send you, instead of sending you faris, because a lot of networks pay in faris, we send you stacks, because when you mint, the transaction fees need to be paid in stacks. We think that we might dynamically adjust this 10%, depending on how we see the Gini coefficient moving as we go along, right? But our goal is just to reduce the Gini coefficient as much as we can, reduce inequality and lift people. And there will always be poor. We will always have somebody that are at the bottom 10%, but we can make it a less depressing bottom 10%. In our case, we were expecting, since we did the coupons, we were expecting those people to have at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because it makes it fun, right? Let me see what else. A second part of the reverse BTC network adjust the minting fees. We have a program that dynamically can adjust minting fees depending on usage and all that jazz. And we also have nearly free minting weekends. So on weekends we just drop the fees as much as we can, so that people can mint as much as they can. And that's another measure that we do, to help people. In some cases, there are people that just don't know how to mint, right? We have a support tab on the Discord where you can go and ask questions, and we have a big community where you can ask and we can help you mint. We can answer all of your questions. We have a lot of documentation. We have tutorials. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of videos showing you how to mint and how to use the coupons and yada yada yada. But this is stuff that can be better and will get better, and we need to work on translating this stuff and expanding on it, right? So let's talk about networks, because the reverse network is not the only Bitfari network. As you can see, one of our primary ways of distribution is real screens. Our ads, yes, you can do this on Bitfari, but what you will see is seeing Bitfari integrated with with useful screens, with infotainment screens. You will see a lot of this in the real world, and you will also see a lot of virtual screens that you can see on your cell phone, screens that you can see with AR glasses, screens that you can see on your computer, right? And these screens will have ads supported by multiple networks, right? In order to do this, we need to do two rollouts at once. We need to do a rollout to acquire people, that's a growth rollout, and we need to do a rollout to distribute ads, that is the network rollout. So in terms of ads, we have partners, we have connections to ad exchanges, we are partnering with agencies, and we also have opened up a platform that is open to the public to place ads. It's on preview on mainnet. We're gonna move it fully to mainnet soon. We have posted some ads, some test ads on mainnet, but we needed to do some fixes on the platform. They have been completed, so we will announce that soon as well. But the idea is that we get ads from people, from partners, from agencies, and our target for this year is to get 75 million ads. So our target is not to get 2 ads or 3 ads or 10 ads or 100 ads. Our target is to get 75 million ads, which we have, more or less acquired. We just need to integrate all of those ads in the platform. In terms of people, we have a target of 100,000 users, which is a lot. Roughly, we have, I would say, 1,000 active users, but we have a lot of visitors in our platform. So this is a target that we hope to hit by the end of the year, especially with the big airdrop. Once everything is ready, we will do a big airdrop, and then we will onboard a lot of users. So we were at 100 users on the Discord, now we are at 1,000. Next step is 10,000, and then 100,000. We are growing in increments of 10x. So even though this might seem far away, it's really not, because we are growing on 10x steps. Let's talk about distributions. We have something called the affiliate program. We also hope to sign in 1 million affiliates, but the target is next year. These are people that sell ads. These are people that make commission on sales. We give them all, if they sell an ad, we give them the commission, we make sales. So we give them digital land when they make a sale, and we give them all the money from the sale they made. So they make 200% on sales. So it's basically an incentive program to have agencies give us ads, and to have people sell ads and get digital land. And they keep all of the profits from this stuff. We're just doing it to grow the platform, and the idea is to get 1 million people selling ads, so that we can go from 75 million ads to 1 billion ads, hopefully within a decade or less. So how do we go mainstream? There's something called a cold start problem. We are here, right? We haven't barely begun. So you need to push to grow fast. And we have something called Digital Lamp, which has been our push to grow. It's a set of virtual screens. We have 25 million, roughly, units of digital land, and people that mint this land will start earning fatties. and people that see these ads will start earning fatties, since we will place like automatically ads on these billboards, on these virtual billboards. So everything is built so that the system starts working from day one, and people start getting distributions from day one. This is not something that this is not Cardano, when I'm gonna start, like Hoskinson, talking about what will happen, and I'm 5 years into the exercise, you will still be hoping for Cardano to hit $1. Not to this on the ecosystem. I respect what Cardano has built, but you know what I'm talking about. We are DAO. We are heavily focused on practicality and pragmatism and getting things done. We are really not solving any hard academic problems or any hard tech problems. We are just showing ads, building infrastructures, coding, integrating stuff. So for us, it's easier to deliver. Okay, so the idea is to have all of these ads so that users match with ads on day one. If we don't have a lot of ads, then matching is kind of hard, especially for search ads and that sort of stuff. We want to keep growing, but we want to grow in a healthy way. And one of the ways in which we grow is by reversing inequality in digital virtual billboard ownership. We want to have as many people as possible operating and owning digital land, and we want to have a lot of auditors, a lot of screen operators. So we want to make it easy for people to join in and start minting. We have identified the problem of that bottom 10%, people that have minted 1, 2 properties, 3 properties, even though they have a coupon, right? I think most of them have a coupon, even though most of them presumably they know how to use the system because they have minted already 1 property or 2. So it's really not about that. It might be about transaction fees. Okay, so that's why this is important. The roadmap for this network is to, the distributions will grow with the number of users because the pool of transaction fees obviously will grow. Higher fees, whenever they come into effect, that will increase the pool that is distributed. It will also increase the dispersion. You'll see the reach opening different accounts to mine with different accounts. That increases the security of the network because then hackers will not target those accounts to sort of try to steal land. And on and on and on and on. It's just something that makes the system work that much better. We plan to create dashboards to showcase this, and we plan to create dynamic reports that give an insight into the Gini coefficient of the Bitfarity network, specifically as it relates to digital land ownership. It's very important for us to have as much of an equal distribution as possible. As you can see here, the world was more equal in the 1800s than it is today. Well, than it was in 2005. Sorry, I guess it. So in the 1800s it was 0.43. In 2005 it was 0.68. Sorry, this data from Wikipedia is really outdated. If you have a Gini coefficient of 0, then the society is completely equal. So if we can have a Gini coefficient of less than 0.4, then we will have achieved a distribution that has been more equal than society has ever been, right? And we are certainly trying to get the best coefficient possible. Most ecosystems are not concerned with this. They are concerned with decentralization, which is also very important. What you have to understand is that since minting, it's a core part of our ecosystem, this is in essence a measure of decentralization for us, right? So if you equate minting with mining and virtual screen ownership and digital land ownership with mining, if you equate those two basic building blocks, then this Gini coefficient will tell a story about the decentralization of the ownership of assets within our ecosystem. So this is extremely important because it's not only a measure of wealth distribution, it is in effect a measure of decentralization within our ecosystem. Right? So that's what we are doing, the distribution. Wow, this has been a great talk. I actually went over by over 15 minutes, but I guess it's gonna be worth it because we covered a lot of very important topics. If you would like to do Gini coefficients, using Excel in your computer, just follow this link. Just Google it, go to Wikipedia, watch some videos about it, and you will learn a little bit more about economics and blockchains. Thanks for your attention, and remember to always bring life to your location.